with Haley and Bree.
Whoa! Another week.
And
Man.
It's
not just Haley and Bree this time. As you can see, we have a special guest. This is Danae Jaeger, my bonus sister, who I had talked about previously, and our fellow friend. So, sister in Christ, you know, there's so many, there's a list. So, thank you, Danae, so much for being on the podcast.
Yeah, excited to be here.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be good.
It's going to be great. We're going to get to know a lot about Danae. So don't you guys worry. You're going to know so many things.
You're going to know our deepest, darkest secrets.
Maybe, yeah.
Before we get started, let's do a little check-in, a little vibe check. I hate that I just said vibe check, but it's okay. My dad always asks me this question whenever he calls me because he lives 5 hours away. So he's like, I don't really know how Bree's doing. So he'll ask me, on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you doing? So you can kind of, like 10 being the best day ever, 1 being worst day ever. So scale of 1 to 10, how are you guys doing?
I'll go first. I am probably, I'd say like a 9. Like, yeah.
Really
crushing
it.
Really, just set the bar really high. Yeah. Just wanted to make you feel really bad.
Yeah.
But no, life's good. Things have been really fun recently. I don't know. Yeah.
There you go. All right, Bree.
Oh, me?
I'll end it.
Gonna end on a low.
I'm just kidding, guys.
Actually, right now I'm about like a 7. So
bro, you're really throwing. I'm just kidding.
That's like
7. That's good.
That's been high for me. So
that's an
good.
average.
Yeah.
That's 70%. A C.
It's passing.
It's passing.
That's passing. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Haley, 1 to 10.
I'm probably a 7 too. I try to make it seem like it was a 2 to throw you guys off, but it's probably a 7. You know, excited to film. You know, it's been a decently good day. So
that's good. It's the end of the day.
End of the day.
Almost the end of the week.
Oh
well,
man.
It's Tuesday, so I guess not. But that's okay. Oh, what a time.
Wow.
Okay, should we ask Danae the question of the week?
I think we should.
Do you remember what it is?
Yeah, but I want you to take it.
Okay, we're doing a question of the week now, Danae. So this is a very, very important question.
Is this the first question of the week?
This is the first question of the week
wow.
on POV.
What a privilege.
So I hope you feel
honored.
Okay, very important. This is also very much a Gene question, but it feels like a Gene question.
Gene is my husband.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Gene.
We'll get to know
Gene's
Gene.
not here. He might be on the podcast sometime, but he's watching your child, Darby. So, what a great dad.
He is.
Wow. All right, sorry. Back
to. Okay, if you could shut down any restaurant, fast food restaurant, because of disgusting food, which restaurant would it be and why?
Am I going first again?
This is
for
you.
Oh,
just
for
me.
you.
Just me. It would be Jack in the Box because Bree and Jean love Jack in the Box, but their tacos make me want to barf, and that's what everybody says is good there. The only thing I would keep is the Oreo milkshake.
Oh,
everything else is
100%.
garbage and inedible.
Oreo milkshake with curly fries.
And
so
anytime someone's gone to Jack in the Box, they come back and say, "Man, I had to wait 30 minutes in line for that." It is not just the one Jack in the Box. It is all Jack in the Boxes everywhere. Fun fact: Darby is my child. The first place that I went is to get Gene Jack in the Box when he was watching Darby. 35 minutes I sat for this guy, and then they didn't give him his sauce, so he got home and he was mad that he didn't have his sauce. And I was like,
that is probably one of my biggest pet peeves is when you go somewhere a drive-thru and they don't give you your sauce. That really, I mean, that is a total Gene thing to be completely outraged over that. But that's why you have a sauce drawer.
He's great though.
But also, I understand the hate for it because when the last time Haley and I went,
oh my gosh,
we
terrible.
waited 45 minutes. I asked for cherries. They gave me no cherries.
To be fair, we were also picking up food for Gene. And if anybody knows Gene, Gene's gonna kill me, but homeboy orders like 50 tacos, and I wish I was over exaggerating, but yeah, so like ordering up 50 tacos on top of our meals, you know, like that is obviously.
But they didn't give you guys your sauce. Like we were like, we asked for ranch or whatever, and they gave us 2 ranch for like 4 people. Like we ordered 4 or 5
2
meals.
Ranch.
It was sad. So I understand.
Terrible.
It's the worst.
I am in love with Jack in the Box's tacos. I do need to stop eating at Jack in the Box though, because it's a problem.
Well, I'll get it shut down. I'll put in a word.
Oh.
Just kidding.
Alright, okay.
Please don't. That would be tragic because it's a really good late night.
No more Oreo milkshakes.
And their Oreo milkshakes are superior. Anyways, we will move on from this debatable subject. Anyways, more into Danae, because now we get to talk about Danae. Haley. So you guys knew each other first. So like, how do you guys know each other first of all?
How do I know Danae? Were you there when I was a student in high school?
I was there your senior years when I started.
So crazy.
Yeah.
Which I feel
Baby
so bad
Haley.
because I don't think I even acknowledged Danae during that time. No, I did. I thought she was great.
Wait, where?
I thought she was great. I just don't remember if she was there.
So when I was in high school and like my own small group, Danae was a leader there. And so she was my sister's small group leader, actually. And so that's how I knew Danae, but also she was like a leader of mine. And then after I graduated high school, kind of was like, where do I fit in? Like, want to serve. And so I ended up serving in high school ministry and then was like leading with Danae, like working in ministry together. And then Danae and Jean adopted their baby girl, Darby, who is now my niece that I love so much.
She's pretty cute.
She is very cute. And I feel like it just took off from there. Like my mom started babysitting Darby when we would go to small group. And now they're at my house at least 4 times a week. And Danae's the best and I love her. She's like a sister to me. So
Bonus
super
sister.
great. Yeah, bonus sister. We're like family now. So it's great.
Can't get rid of us. I read something recently, or didn't read it actually, was told something, that there's a part in scripture that talks about if you had a child biologically and they left the faith, you could sorry, a little beat.
But
if you had a child biologically and you could just, and they left the faith, you can disown them and it was like they were never your child. But if you adopted a child, or this way, like Haley and I are kind of like adopted family, there was nothing that you could do to disown them. And so it was like, that's such a like beautiful picture of Christ, of what he does, but also of just like the chosen family of like a Christ community is so much more impactful than even like a biological family. Not that biological families aren't great too, but
that's really cool.
Oh.
I love that.
Well, Bree.
Yeah. How do we know?
How do you know?
Well, same thing kind of, because we both met in high school ministry. So I remember first Sunday being a high school small group. I walked in and you and Jess were talking about, I think you guys were exchanging baby clothes or something. And I was like,
nice.
Oh my gosh, there's so many moms in this group.
All 2 of us.
Yeah.
And yeah, you were so welcoming, and now I hang out with Haley all the time, so I hang out with you, and now I'll hang out with you even when Haley's not around. So.
What? Just kidding.
Don't tell Haley.
Danae and I hang out more than I hang out with Haley. So.
Wow.
We're also starting a podcast.
Yeah, we're starting a podcast about how to last in a hot tub for like 4 hours.
Yeah, basically.
That was rough. We lost like 4 pounds in sweat.
Wow. Can I come on the podcast?
No.
Oh.
No.
It's Hot Tub Talks with Bree and Danae.
Stop. I'm being pushed down slowly.
No, 2 podcasts.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
You're just double dipping?
You just can't be a guest on ours.
Then what the heck?
You're coming here to promote your podcast? Yikes.
We are not coming out with a podcast.
No. We should.
Oh, man.
Anyways.
No.
Wow. Yeah, so Danae is a big part of both of our lives. See each other multiple times a week. So it's a fun time, and we're excited to get you guys to get to know Danae. So kick us off, Danae. Let us know one fun fact, like an abnormal fact about yourself.
Fun fact. I once got my finger stuck in a treadmill. So my sister I was little, I was probably like 6. But my sister was walking on the treadmill, so I was like doing a little finger thing, sitting on the ground, having my fingers walk on the treadmill. Then she decides, I'm going to pick up the speed. And so my finger gets sucked into the side of the treadmill. Then there's a little emergency latch you can just pull off. She does not do that. She just hops off the treadmill. My finger is continuing to go around. So I still have a scar. Then my dad runs, grabs me. We lived in an apartment, so it's like the apartment gym. Then he rushes me into the boys' bathroom. That was mortifying. But
How old were you?
I was probably like 6 or something, but old enough to know I shouldn't be in the boys' bathroom. And then we went to the emergency room, had to wear a little hand cast thing. Kept my finger, but yeah,
I was gonna say, do you have 10 fingers
still have a pretty, yeah, I think so.
Could you imagine? She's like, yeah, hey everybody. Lost my thumb. It's down one.
No, it was my pointer finger on my right hand. So school was rough.
Yikes.
Maybe it was a little earlier. I might have been like first or second grade. I had like a big thing, and then eventually it moved to a splint. But
whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you survived.
Don't trust your sister on a treadmill.
That's a wild fact for
no
sure.
treadmills.
Yeah. You told me something I want to know.
That was normal for sure. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Oh man.
Okay. Now we're gonna dive
in today.
Dive in.
I hope you guys are ready for some fun talks.
Buckle up.
I'm excited because Danae is exiting her 20s very soon.
2 months.
How does that feel?
Don't remind her.
A handful of days. No, actually, I've been telling people since I was like 27 that I'm 30. So I don't know. I just think I feel like it was like, if I get a head start on it, then I won't feel sad about it. So I'm ready to be 30, basically, is what I feel. And Gene's older than me, so I'm always like, well, he's still old.
He's an old man.
It is a weird low, like 30 feels like you gotta figure things out. You're 30, but you don't. Yeah.
No, we're going to talk about how you figure everything out in your 20s.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, Danae, you're supposed to tell them everything good.
For sure.
We need some hope about starting therapy, so hopefully you're providing that today.
Cool.
It's okay if not, but there is some pressure.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Wow. All right. So one question we have is, reflecting back on your 20s, what was the biggest, we're going to start on a downer. Sorry, guys. What was the biggest low light of your 20s, and what was your least favorite or hardest year? Yeah,
that is tough. The low light, actually, if you do ask about the highlight, they kind of play. They kind of play off of each other. My years are completely different, but kind of. But the low light of my 20s was, as I mentioned, my daughter is adopted. She's my sister that I grew up with, biological full sister. She is her biological child, and so. As much as Darby is a blessing to me, and she is definitely the highlight of my 20s, has been adopting her and being able to become a mom in that way. The grieving of the loss of my sister through that. My sister had an estranged relationship before, but this just felt like I don't know if we're ever going to be able to have the relation. We're super close in age. I have a bunch of half siblings, but I have 2 full siblings, and we're all within 4 years of each other. So grew up together, did everything together. If you ask anybody growing up, we were always together, whether it was good or bad, doing whatever. But this just felt like I don't know how to grieve someone that is still there, but the relationship is never going to be what it is. And I think throughout your 20s and throughout life, there's lots of relationships that you have to grieve losing. But so that was really, really tough. And not knowing there's not a lot of people that adopt their siblings' children. And then, again, Darby is great and everybody loves her. I think I'm very biased, but but yeah, having to walk through that and not really know how to process that. While also being so excited about this new chapter was really challenging. So that's probably the low light of the 20s.
Yeah, that's a very interesting, they contrast each other, because there's a big low light, but it leads to this big highlight.
Yeah. And I can talk about, she's definitely the highlight, but I could spend all 30 minutes talking about how great she is. So highlight of my 20s has been becoming a mom and seeing Gene become a dad, and all of that. And that didn't happen until I was 28, so tail end of my 20s there.
Wow.
Yeah.
How old is Darby now?
Darby is 2.5. So I guess, she's just over 2. So I guess it was just end of 27 is when we adopted Darby. Yeah.
So by then you were already calling yourself 30. So.
Yeah, I was ready.
Wow.
Then Darby snuck in there.
Yeah. Yeah. How was Gene in all that, your guys' relationship? How has that been affected or grown or changed?
He's been great. He fully stepped into dad mode so easily, and he's a lot more rational and I'm a lot more emotional, not in a bad way, but just a complimentary way, I think. And even in conversations with my sister and Darby's biological dad, when that was happening, he handled them so gracefully and just really caring and really well to get, it was like a 3-week process that it all happened. So, and then obviously like you add a child who wants 100% of your attention. So that will put tension on any marriage, but we're both like pretty easygoing people. So it's been more exciting and fun than I think a huge challenge for us. So it's been good.
You mentioned it really briefly, but you said like that it was a 3-week process, like getting. So was it a 3-week process from like meeting Darby? Like, did you have any idea before that you were gonna adopt her, or was it like 3 weeks?
Yeah, it was like got the phone call on December 22nd that my sister had a kid. Did not know that she was pregnant. Like I said, we'd been not in communication for probably about 1.5 years, 2 years at that point. So Darby was born on December 21st. Got the phone call on December 22nd, and it was basically we'd have to figure out before Darby was released from the hospital, and she ended up spending 21 days there, of how we were going to leave the hospital with her, because otherwise she'd become a ward of the state, and we were in a different state than she was, and so it would become a really complicated process to adopt her. A lot of times it could take up to a couple of years, and we didn't want to see her bounce around to different foster homes or whatever life would have looked like. We wanted to be able to leave the hospital with. So God's hand was over the whole thing. We got great advice from different people, and were able to get a lawyer that really helped us out. And then like got a call on a Thursday afternoon that she was 19 days later, I guess, that she was going to be released from the hospital that Saturday, and we needed to get out to Vegas. So had a community of people that basically were like, bought us strollers, pack and play, gave us a car to use because our car is tiny, and drove out there, and then we're able to, it felt super sketchy. I've like walked into the hospital, here's my ID and some paperwork that kind of says I'm a temporary legal guardian. Please send her with me. And they did.
Wow.
And now look at you now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Now it's all official. Adoption's finalized, all the things. But left the hospital a little sketch. So.
Yeah, that's a lot at 27 too. Okay, we'll like climb our way back up to 27. But we'll jump around your 20s a little bit. What Haley and I have been talking and realizing is kind of talking about, okay, what are some of the areas that people struggle with in their 20s? And I think it's everything. These categories that we've like
we just try to sum them up. There's more there.
But I think it like envelopes basically everything, because everybody struggles with everything
for the most part.
So to sum up again, there's social, like how does your interactivity affect or grow or change, community, physical health, financial health, career well-being, and then we're adding a 6th one because I think faith and your spiritual well-being is a big part of it. So we're gonna try to see like those areas of your life and like how that led up to Darby and to where you are now. So starting with 20, coming up to 30, what were the areas that you like of those 6 categories? So social, community, physical, financial, career, faith, so many. What were the areas that you feel like you thrived in, and what were the areas you feel like you were like struggling with a bit?
I feel like early on in the 20s, definitely like social community was really challenging. I felt like all of my closest friends went back home after college, and at home was not in the same location. I stayed around the university, and it felt like they all left me. And so that was really hard of just, where do I find my place? And I went to a school that like required us to go to chapel 3 times a week. So I was like, I don't need to go to a church, which was dumb. But so there wasn't really like a home church community. Everybody was gone and everybody was doing their own thing. So that was really hard. And Jean and I both are now, and I feel like even then it just took a really long time to build. Like we're really passionate and like to create community, and we're getting better at it, I think. But it's just challenging when I think other people don't value it in the same way, or you're so focused on what am I going to do, who am I going to be, all of these things, when you just miss out on like what is around you. So even now, there's some days where I'm like, I have no friends. What am I doing with my life? Community is just hard. And I think that's like one of the big spiritual battles like in the world is we want to be the body of Christ, and the enemy's going to do anything that he can to get in the way of that and tear that apart, or tell you lies if nobody likes you, or, oh, if they say no, they don't want to hang out with you, that means like they don't want to be your friend. All of those things that add up. That so it was just really challenging to find our place, and then we ended up in a small group with people that were like in their 40s to 60s, and they were great and super wise, but just not like the community that Jean and I needed for like, let's go to a 10 p.m. boba run, or those kind of things in your early 20s. So that's what I would say like was the biggest challenge. Where we thrive, or where I thrived. I think my faith, I didn't become like a Christian until I was 19. And so obviously there's just tons of room for growth in my 20s. So God has always been prevalent in my 20s, and he's felt really near in the hard times rather than distant. And so, my faith, and then just realizing like what it means to get plugged in, what it means to serve, what it means to actually be a part of a faith community, and just be a Christian in general, and what that walk looks like and daily.
Yeah. When did you and Jean get married? How old were you?
21.
20.
Like a psychopath.
When did you get Jean?
We're 19. No. We were crazy. I was about to turn 22. I'm a June birthday. So we got engaged the summer going into my senior year of college. Jean had already graduated, and then he's a year ahead of me. And then we got married 2 weeks after graduation.
Wow.
Or 3 weeks after, yeah. No, baby Danae. Now I look at anybody that's getting married that young, and I'm like, what? That's crazy.
Cheer guide, stop. He's ruining everything.
Jeez. Stop playing your video game. But, we're psychopaths, but it's been great.
Yeah. How did that fit into your plan? Like, did you always see yourself getting married young? Because I know, like girls, I feel like a lot of times, like, have their dream, like, wedding or, like, marriage or whatever. Like, but was that you?
No, I am not a planner. So I had one, like, as serious as a boyfriend could be in high school that I decided I was going to marry, because that's just what you do. And, so I'm not, like, to a fault, go with the flow. Like, adaptability is one of my top strengths, but, like, the dark side comes out for that a lot of the time. That was not in the plan. And then I went to a Christian university, and everybody jokes about getting your MRS degree. And I was like, that's weird. What is this? Yeah, and especially my freshman year when I was there and I was not a Christian, I was like, these people are insane. Or like Ring by Spring, all the things. And I was like, that's not going to happen. And then the first night that I hung out with Jean, we were sitting on a curb, and I was like, I think I'm going to marry this guy. And I was like, you're a psycho.
First night?
Yeah, which I think I was just like rebounding of like, I'm out of a relationship. Now I love Jesus. This guy loves Jesus.
We're dark, clearly. God said, man, it's gonna work
out. But Jean, on the third day that we were dating, he told me that he loved me. I did not say it back for 8 weeks. So
I love that you ran with it, because for most people that's like the biggest red flag. But you know that's okay.
Yeah,
it worked out now.
I love that. I'm such a like.
Yeah.
Sorry. Someone told me they loved me in 3 days. Like, run out the door.
There'd be some serious red flags.
Some, like, issues.
But I wouldn't run out the door. They love me, you know?
They love me.
That's so cute.
Yeah. I don't think I thought it was so cute. Okay. I didn't run away. So somewhere in the middle of that.
But you didn't leave.
I didn't leave. And basically from that moment, we kind of started, I didn't say I love you back, but we kind of started planning our wedding. And we're, again, weird people.
You didn't say I love you.
No.
But you did start planning the wedding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So within the first, like, 2 months of dating, we knew, like, there's going to be bounce houses. We're going to have In and Out, and it's going to be at Jean's parents' church. And that is all of the things.
I didn't know you back then. We didn't get to witness this. We should do a vow renewal. A vow renewal.
That would
and
be
then have
fun.
everything back up again.
Okay, Haley, I'll do that for you. Can I have some money for it?
Yeah, sure.
So, perfect.
There you go.
This podcast is taking off today. Haven't you seen?
Yeah. Perfect.
We already are racking up $1 million over here.
$1 million buckaroonies.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Insane.
Crazy.
All right. So that's kind of your like social part of it. What about career? Because I know you just got a new job.
Yeah.
Can I say where?
Yeah,
It's at
sure.
APU.
No, you can definitely say where.
Working at APU, I feel like would be fun.
And that's where you went to school.
Yeah.
So that's super cool to like be back on campus and like, you know, like did you want to work there? Did you ever have any thoughts of working there when you were in school?
Yeah, so I worked there for like I said, not a planner. Worked there for 3 years after I graduated, and that was really fun, but thought like, oh, I've been here for 7 years. I've got to go figure things out. Got my undergrad and my master's there. So I left for 3 years and did a job that was fun. It was for Fuller Seminary, but it was like very data driven. Yeah. And so, literally 2 weeks ago started back at APU and back with undergraduate and graduate students and getting to work with them. And APU is it's got such a cool community, and it's special to work there. And it's also it's like where I met my husband, where I met Jesus, all the important things of my life kind of surround there. So it's fun. But career-wise has been weird. I'm not like career fiscally I kind of work so that I could do fun things for my friends. Like I like to host things or throw parties at the scale that I can, or when a friend lets me borrow their house, that's always great. But our house is fine too. But it is. Yeah, I went to school, was a first-gen student, had no idea what I was doing. My roommate was like, hey, sociology, my brother did that. It's pretty easy. And I was like, check that off the box. So I will do that. Yeah. And then there's not much you can do with a sociology major. I learned getting close to my senior year. And so I was like, maybe I'll go to grad school, or maybe I'll apply and do Teach for America, which is like a program that they put you straight into teaching. And so I got accepted to Teach for America, but they placed me in Las Vegas, was getting married, wanted to stay out here. So that didn't feel like the right decision. And then I applied to a college. I was like, well, I really like being in college. Maybe I want to like be a college counselor. And so I did my master's in college counseling, and they had a really great scholarship where if you worked a grad assistant on campus, it was 50% off tuition, plus you got a stipend. So pretty much free, which was great. Yeah. And then ended up getting hired full time my second year of the program, and then stayed around for another year and a half. So it just sort of happened, which I feel like a lot of things in my life. So maybe that's not great advice, but but a lot of it, I do like pursue things. I don't just like sit around and be like, well, things will happen. I just don't always know like long term, what's my 10, 20-year plan.
Do you have a 5-year plan? Because I don't.
No, I don't have a 5-year plan. Just as, opportunities come up, and I go and that's sort of how I ended up back in this position. But I'm a supervisor now, which is crazy because I'm definitely not like boss babe Danae, career motivated, all those things.
I think so.
I think, maybe, but it's not what but it's fun. Career has been good. Like I've been able to get good jobs and stuff, but it's not like a main focus for my life.
Yeah. Do you think that like some people go to stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home dad? Do you see that at all in your future, or do you enjoy working and enjoy having that outlet almost?
I enjoy working. I also really enjoy my kids. So if we have more kids ever, we'd see. I don't know, but I really enjoy like the opportunities that me working, like we're able to pay off our house faster. We're able to again, still do things for friends, even though we have a kid and a mortgage and all of those things. And I think it's cool to be able to show Darby. We also are very fortunate that Darby goes to school and loves going to school. So it would be much different if I was dropping my kid off and she was screaming her head off or coming home sad. But I get to school and she wants to keep playing, and I get her there.
Away, Mom.
Basically, I drop her off and she's like, bye, Mom. So that's made it a lot easier. And the pandemic of being able to work, the pandemic's not a good thing, but being able to work from home and having that hybrid. So if she's sick and I need to stay home with her, I don't have to like call out. Or the first 18 months of her life, she stayed home with us, which was crazy. And probably don't tell my other boss, but Yeah, so
I feel like people know that. Like,
yeah. It's just what people are able to do now. Yeah. Can't fire me.
Can't fire you.
Yeah, I still got my job done. Was able to do all of that. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, Gene, if he always says his dream is like a teenager was marry a sugar mama, be a stay-at-home dad. And then he was like, I married a sociology major, and it's not the reality.
That's everybody's dream though. Marry a sugar someone.
A sugar someone.
Have watch kids.
Somebody. Yeah.
I don't know.
And not have to do anything.
And not have to do anything.
Yeah. But that's not fulfilling.
Just
do podcasts.
Yeah. Yeah, because this isn't a job.
No, it's fun.
I'm just kidding. No,
it's like I hate doing this podcast. I'm sick of it.
No, it's fun. It's fun.
She's
it's
excited.
fun. It's so good. It's so good.
So 20s, you're exiting your 20s. What questions do you think you were wrestling with at the start and like going through your 20s versus now exiting your 20s? What things are you questioning, like either faith-wise or I don't know, 5-year plan wise?
Yeah.
What do you think has changed from like 20 to 29?
Honestly, a lot of like at least big questions have remained the same. I'm just more at peace of like, I'm not going to know that answer. And so kind of early on in my 20s, right after Gene and I got married, I didn't talk to my dad for a full year. Like no text messages on birthdays, holidays, anything like that. Just had a really rough time. And our relationship's always been like, but also during that time is when I was getting my master's. I had like just been offered a full-time salary job. And so it was just like, how do I wrestle with the tension? And I think similar with like the Darby situation, there's like always this tension of, man, God, like you are so good and I see that, but this world is so broken and why can't everybody see that like you are what is good?
Yeah.
And that just like hurts my heart. And just like the rest, I think early on it was a lot more wrestling with like, why me? Like this isn't fair. Like my friends have normal families, or like this shouldn't be happening. Like this, like I would be more confident. I would be more X, Y, Z if you just gave me like some support where it feels like I've got nothing. When really like God is what is consistent and what is pure and kind and all of that.
Yeah.
But I'm just more like at peace with like, I guess knowing that the fall has happened.
Yep.
There's redemption, but like there's the fall. There's redemption, and like it just is like a constant tension.
Yeah.
And so that was more prevalent in my early 20s of like really, really just being like, I don't get this. It's like weighing on me.
It's hard.
And now I still don't have an answer, but it's just more reliance on God, I think now.
Yeah. What advice would you give your 20-year-old self?
20-year-old baby Danae. I think, or even early 20s.
Yeah.
In like the least doomsday like I want this to be like encouraging, but it might come out as like not encouraging. Cool. Like nothing, like Jesus died and that is what matters, and like this world doesn't really, like it matters but it doesn't really matter. Like nothing matters, nobody cares, is what I constantly feel like I'm saying. And like not in a bad way, but like what matters is Jesus died. Yeah. And we are going to like live eternity with him. And so Jean's mom is like a great example of this. Hey, train. That was my stop. Dang it. Dang
it.
But
today, Mr. Train.
Yeah. Jean's mom is a great example of this. Is she has a lot of health stuff that she deals with, is constantly in pain. But anytime you talk to her about anything, she's like, oh man, I'm going to pray for that person. And I'm like, no, I was just telling you they did a bad thing. Or like count it, like truly count it all joy of like, oh man, hasn't Jesus given us so much? And I think that's what's important to recognize of like, I was so concerned about so many things. And there's so much like, not like I can just sit back and do nothing, but there is a lot of like, oh God, this is yours. Yeah. I'm handing it over. and I don't need to be stressed about this, and I can count it all joy, and the world is going to look at me like I'm crazy because I'm over here like trying to die to myself and pick up my cross, and they're like, why are you making these decisions? Why aren't you just being boss babe Danae? Like, why are you caring about other people? Why are you doing hard things? But I think we are like, we truly are called to do hard things. And especially people, like, being a Christian means like you're going to do hard things. But it's for eternity, and like you're that is what we're setting our sights on. So not that nothing matters necessarily, but like only one thing really truly matters at the end of the day, and how do I live my life knowing that, and people being able to see that through my life.
That's really cool, Danae. I think I've been struggling with that too. Like, dang, there's like all this hurt and brokenness, and I think, okay, sorry to bring it up, but like going through like a breakup, I think has really like changed my perspective of like, okay, I'm dependent on, I don't know, being with somebody. I'm dependent on having a family, or like I need this thing in my life, or something that I desire in my life. But I think like God's the one that we should depend on. Like he really is the only thing that matters. So it's just, it's a hard thing to be like, because there's so many things in this world that are distracting us, like whether it's relationships or career, like all these things that the world says matter and the world says are important, but they're really not.
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
People matter, and loving people matter, and those are all products of.
Yeah. And if you look at any of like Jesus's close homies, like none of them had like a cush life. Like Jean's comes from a great just history, generations of like just strong Christians, but Jean's grandma, who's passed away, but she used to always talk about like, oh, if I'm not struggling, I'm probably doing something wrong. Like the people that are closest, but it's also, nobody wants to struggle. Like nobody wants to have a hard time, but like Paul's literally writing letters from prison. Like he's not like, and he's one of Jesus' like closest, like literally writing most of the New Testament, and his life is not super cushioned. So not that like God doesn't give us stuff to enjoy, but just recognizing like, like you said, people matter, loving them matters, but that's really hard because we're all broken, and
Well, it is hard, but we're gonna make it.
You are.
We gotta
push through it.
That's awesome. That's really, I love that. So thank you for that encouragement.
Kinda.
Little preaching moment. Go Danae.
Whoa.
We're running out of time, sadly, which I feel like we could keep talking for like so much, because there's so many things that I want to ask, and we could talk more.
Yeah. Another time.
Another time. We'll have you back on if you're willing.
Maybe.
I don't know if you've watched our podcast. Have you watched one of our episodes yet?
I watched the first one. I did, yes.
That was really bad.
It was great.
She was like, never heard of it. Never watched
Actually,
it.
Haley just asked me to dinner, but there's no food. Just kidding.
Haley set me up.
But don't you like the coffee table?
It's great. Yeah. It took a lot of effort to get there, but it looks good.
Anyways, at the end of the episode, we do POVs. Since you're on our podcast, do you want to hear? Do you want to be included?
I'd love to be included.
Okay. We're gonna do POVs with Haley and Bree and Danae.
There we go. Doesn't roll off the tongue as well, but
3-part special. It's okay.
Danae.
There we
go.
go.
Make it rhyme.
Oh yeah. Good job.
Danae, what is your POV?
I get to start again. My POV is that nobody actually likes pretzels.
Like soft pretzels or hard pretzels?
No. Soft pretzels, those are great. Everybody likes soft pretzels. Hard pretzels, nobody actually likes them, but nobody actually dislikes them. They're just there. They're like the world. Like, you don't dislike them, you don't like them, but somebody created them, and they are all there.
I guess you're right.
That's interesting.
I'm glad you clarified.
You will eat them, and you could be like, but nobody's like, hey, you know what, pick me up from the, I've never had anybody ask me, hey, you know what, pick me up from the store for the party, some hard pretzels. But they're always at the...
Peanut butter pretzels.
That's different. You put chocolate on pretzels, it's no longer just a pretzel. You put peanut butter in it.
Stick pretzels.
Stick pretzels are the pretzel-shaped ones.
Thing.
I guess that's true.
You don't dislike them, but Yeah, again,
just there.
you've never called someone up and be like, hey, we're having a party, get the pretzels.
Whoa.
Unless they're dipping it in chocolate. That's true.
Or unless you're going to somebody's house that really likes pretzels. But
Nobody
the odds are
does.
slim.
You can, no, they don't.
Wow.
Well,
that's my POV.
All right.
Danae's POV numero uno.
Numero uno.
First and last.
No.
Just
oh,
kidding.
Gosh,
Oh my god.
Yeah, maybe.
She's breaking
Just
it
kidding.
to us. All right, Bree.
No, this is great. Thank you guys so much.
What's Bree's POV?
So
Numero.
this is probably not going to be super contradictory. No.
Controversial.
Controversial. Wow. That was bad. Controversial.
Okay.
But a few months ago, I had told Haley that
trying to reflect.
I'm pretty sure it was you. Oops.
Oh, well,
I'm pretty sure it was
I'll tell
Haley.
ya.
I was arguing that donuts are not a breakfast food. Do you remember that? Was that you?
It might have been me.
I'm pretty sure. I think it was you.
It probably was.
I was hard like, yeah, donuts are not a breakfast food because they're dessert. It's like pure sugar. It's sugar and bread.
I think that is pretty controversial.
But,
for you.
but I'm saying I'm wrong. I'm taking it back.
Oh.
Whoa.
I
think
am
I do remember
saying-
having this conversation
Yeah.
because I grew up eating donuts every Saturday or Sunday for like at least like 15 years straight.
My thinking in saying that they weren't a breakfast food is because it's dessert. But then the other day I was like, oh, do we want to go get donuts for dessert? I was like, no, donuts are a breakfast food. And I was like, oh.
You hypocrite.
I'm a hypocrite. I'm on the show and let Haley know in front of everybody that donuts are a breakfast food.
Do you know who doesn't like donuts?
Danae.
Yeah, I don't like donuts.
That's controversial right there.
That's really controversial.
But people like donuts. So that's not my point of view that donuts are the worst. But I do believe they are the worst. But I also know that people like them. For sure. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to say that's my POV number 16.
16?
Yeah. We're not jumping anymore. That registration is 16.
Whoa. So 1, 15, 16.
I think we did 1, 5, 15, 16.
Okay.
What's yours? What's your number?
Number 13.
Okay, we're going for it. I don't remember what number you did last time.
I don't remember either, to be completely honest. Hopefully it wasn't 13. I think Dr. Pepper is the superior soda. And I know people might not agree with that because there are some like Diet Coke like fanatics. But I don't think I just feel like Dr. Pepper is just like God sent. Like I feel like God handcrafted that himself.
That's
like I know he did. Everything, but like I think he really took his time.
He was looking out for you.
I think he really took his time on the person who invented Dr. Pepper and was like, you gotta make it right.
But it also is so interesting because I don't think I realized like there's 23 different like flavorings involved in there.
Oh, what?
Yeah. There's 20 like
That's
23
like motto,
flavors that make up Dr. Pepper, and it's like wild. So like one of them's like licorice.
What? Do you know them all? Can you list them all?
No, I'm not. Could you imagine? That'd be really cool. I don't. I could look it up, but like, I'll have to come back next week and like have it all prepared. But it's like licorice is one of them. Like caramel. There's like some like out of pocket things.
See, okay,
But anyway, somehow all mixed
all
up.
comes together.
It's
the best.
Heaven. I don't drink soda anymore.
But you
I don't
drink
either.
Dr. Pepper?
No.
Would you drink Dr. Pepper? If Dr. Pepper was a choice, would you drink it?
I would drink water over Dr. Pepper. I know that's like...
That was the wrong answer.
I agree.
Or like
I also think that all of
water.
the dark sodas taste the same, except for root beer.
No,
but
that's not
I don't
true.
like any of them.
Dr. Pepper. So
Nah.
Coke and Pepsi taste the same.
And so does
No.
Dr. Pepper.
Coke and Pepsi. do not
Dr.
taste the
Pepper, Coke and Pepsi taste the same. 100%. Dr. Pepper has like a slight, like sourer taste.
I don't know the
Root
last time I
beer
actually
tastes
took
like
a sip.
beer, but like sweet. Sprite.
This is controversial. This right here is really making me think you're crazy.
Yep. Anyways, what a POV. We're gonna.
There's Dr. Pepper in here.
No, there's not. This is tea.
I filled it with Dr. Pepper.
This is really sweet tea.
Can
So
you taste the difference?
You know what's funny is I cut out soda because I was like I eat and drink too much sugar. but I still drink juice, and I feel like that is the same amount.
Look what you've done.
Probably.
Anyways, we've gone on a long time about sodas.
Way too long.
But thank you, Danae, for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks for
I'll look for my check. Just kidding.
You look for your what? Oh, your check?
Did you tell her
that it's $0? Actually, sorry, it's 15%.
Okay.
Of whatever we make on this
15% of $0.
Which is $0. That's all right. That's all right.
So,
all right. We'll send it to you in the mail. It'll be here in 5 to 6 business months.
So don't say that. Then
It'll be fine. We'll send her a bank check.
Thank you everybody for tuning in. Give Danae some love in the comments or shoot her a text.
Yeah.
If you have her number, if not.
If not, I'm not gonna give it out.
Yeah,
that's fair.
No, that's fair. Her number is right here on the screen.
Look below.
Psych!
Just kidding.
Anyways, we'll see you guys next Tuesday
for another episode of POV with Haley and Bree.
See you there.
POV with Haley.